Hey guys, I'm bringing you a special new moon in Capricorn reading for twin flames. It's not sign specific, so sit back, relax, and enjoy what the messages are for the collective. In the twin flame community, I will be acknowledging divine masculine and divine feminine energy, and then you can feel free to flip it around if you need to. The new moon in Capricorn, joining the sun in Capricorn, it's a powerful new moon, and here's why. It's the first new moon of the new year, so that's great. But being that it's in Capricorn, it's wrapping up all the lessons of this calendar year. So, and it's completely conjunct, almost to the exact degree, Pluto, which is the Pluto, the Lord of the underworld. It is about life, death, rebirth, and the phoenix rising. So it asks us to bring some of our shadowy side, some of the darker lessons that have been learned into the present as we set new intentions going forward. So I know that's often difficult because sometimes we just want to push out of our field of vision that which has been difficult and stressful and painful, the hard lessons that we've learned, yours truly included. But this new moon gives you an opportunity to bring all that forward and to kind of look at it from a neutral position, almost like an outside observer, say that again, and then set your intentions based on the lessons, so that your intentions being expressed in this first new moon of this new year are how you will do things differently. And so in a way you get to kind of tie everything up, put a little ribbon around it, and then finally release it later on in this month with the full moon in Leo. So buckle up. But this is a powerful new moon. I'm very excited about it, and I wanted to do a special reading. So 2 cards from Queen of the Moon Oracle, 1 for Divine Masculine, 1 for Divine Feminine. Beautiful energy here, 24, which 2 and 4 is 6, so that's kind of balanced and stable. And the card is protection. Look at the protection. This is I don't know if you could see, a little female, very vulnerable in the bird's nest, and the bird almost carrying her away. This beautiful energy of protection, card 24, and it says, your higher power, however you describe this, is a loving and protective energy. You are loved and protected. Identify your fears. You can protect yourself better. Trust in yourself. So it's not just about self-protection, it's about your energy, divine masculine, as a protector. I love it. Feminine gets card 20, beauty. Can you see how the leaves and the greenery form the outline, the silhouette of a face? How beautiful is that? So artfully conceived. A very gorgeous card. Let's look what it says about beauty. Beauty is like medicine. It can heal even the most broken spirit. Beauty is everywhere in nature. Just look around you. Beauty comes in many forms, and we can choose to find it. I love how I look. Rid yourself of clutter and what you find disagreeable. So this is sort of about reclaiming your sense of self-love and finding what's beautiful in yourself, even among the broken pieces, especially from this past year. So yes, look outside yourself, beyond yourself, to all the beauty that's around you, dear feminine, but understand that you can't see and fully appreciate the outer beauty unless you see the inner beauty in yourself. And all you've come through in this past year, all the insults to your integrity and the wounds to your heart, and some of your dreams may be shattered, but take that out. Bring it out in this Capricornian new moon. Look at it as an outside observer and set your intentions for what you're bringing forward into the new year from the lessons that have been learned. Keep it positive. Keep it positive. The answer isn't, well, I'm never going to, let anyone into my heart again. That's not the answer. That's not a good intention. You want to figure out where the pain was, what happened, not in terms of the details of this was said, this was done, not that, but just, in what way were you maybe vulnerable? In terms of maybe there were unreasonable expectations, or too much attachment to a specific outcome, or a lack of clarity in communication. I'm just giving you examples. This is not an indictment. So I'm saying it to both parties. This is your opportunity to look at that from a neutral vantage point and then set your intentions around how you will be different going forward, what you've learned and how you're going to apply it. I love it. Okay, so this is a little bit of a different spread. I'm just going to pull the cards. Wow. And then I will tell you what we've got going on here. Okay, so the top cards here are pretty much sort of the energy that you're inhabiting. This side is divine feminine, this is divine masculine. Feel free to flip it around. Feminine is in the hanged man energy, Pisces here, but the energy of the hanged man is about pulling back and doing everything I just said. Taking the 30,000 foot view, looking at the situation from all different vantage points, from their perspective, the other person's perspective, and sometimes with fresh eyes. Sometimes you bounce it off somebody that's a trusted friend or source of advice, someone that you feel would listen to you and then give you honest feedback, not what you want to hear. So the hanged man is delay. It is kind of a sense of sacrifice on what you want to do because you're waiting to get more clarity around the situation. You're also waiting for enlightenment and some illumination on things that you haven't been able to understand. So it's a spiritual card, a connection to your higher self, a connection to source in a way that helps you see things more fully instead of just from the side that has been your own experience. I love that card for the feminine. The masculine's energy is all about expressions of love, adoration, care, admiration, maybe a little apologetic if that speaks to your storyline, but it's sweet. It's like almost as if the first steps toward really expressions of love are coming forward. I like that too, especially for the new moon. Here's where it gets a little trickier. This is now how you feel about each other, sort of when you consider the other person, what are your feelings? Feminine is feeling stuck, kind of overthinking everything. So in a way, it's very good that the hanged man is kind of how you step into the reading, feminine, because this suggests that you don't know your next best step. And the good news is you're kind of already connected to your higher self. Your spiritual wisdom is already leading you through. And the next best step for the feminine is into that puddle, is into the feelings. So you kind of got to get out of your own way here. But this is how you feel about your divine masculine, how we as divine feminines, for those of you who identify with that energy, are feeling about the divine masculine is, I don't know what to do now. I'm feeling kind of trapped or stuck. And the divine masculine's feelings towards this feminine is like there's an energy of healing here, pulling back. Again, I'm feeling this is very connected. The hanged man and the four of swords, because with the four of swords, it is a card of healing, but it's also deep reflection, going inward to reassess, reevaluate everything that's gone on, if needed to even realign back onto the path. So it's very quiet energy, very reflective, meditative, a little zen. This is a little zen too, but in a different way. It's as if to say, I kind of know what I want, but I'm going to wait for the enlightenment to come in before I take any steps. I'm going to look at the big picture. And then this card says, but I don't think I don't have a dog in this race here, a horse in this race, I should say, because it's almost as if you can't move forward. You're not free to. Or if you are free, you don't know how. So that is part of the issue here. The situation, transformation. Wow. Pluto stepping in here in a big way. Scorpio energy in the death card. It is about death and rebirth, transforming. Something has to die off so something brand new can be birthed and take its place. And what is crossing that, meaning the challenge or the dynamic, Three of Wands, manifestation, your ships coming in. So as you both work through, as we all work through this transformation of our connections, what we're doing here, the dynamic, I feel this is a dynamic, not a challenge, is we're calling it in. But remember with when you're calling it in, this person has already laid out all the groundworks for the ships to follow so they could make it into harbor safely. We have to do the same thing. We have to take the proper action steps so that as we move through this transformational period in our connections, we are calling into our existence that which we desire in the connection by adjusting and shifting our intentions, our expectations, our attachment to outcome. Do you see how all of that kind of comes together? Really beautiful. So let me go ahead and do a little clarifying. Hanged Man, I'm going to start with the Hanged Man. Right? You're preparing to choose the path here, dear feminine. So this is about considering the full world of possibilities that's in the palm of your hand right now. It's perfect to have you being in that energy of, I want to see the big picture. This is a big picture card as well. But it's taking it from the whole 30,000 foot view down to, there are now two paths before me, and I'm waiting for the enlightenment for which path I will take. Wow. Whatever that path is, it needs to lead to something more balanced, more stable, more grounded, more reciprocal, right? Something that's more beneficial to both of you instead of so one-sided. Underneath with the twin, yes. So you're guided because it's underneath. For those who are new, welcome. That's more like what's in the psyche. It's not really in conscious awareness, but I feel in a way that it is. I feel that there's a desire here for something more stable, grounded, and beneficial for both twins. So you can kind of kick off that more celebratory part of our connections that often elude us. This is the celebratory energy. So that would make things more celebratory. It would make it feel a little bit lighter in nature if you had an equal give and take. Perfect. Page of Cups. King of Wands. Wow. So we've got some confidence here around what the masculine wants. This is the I see it, I want it, I claim it, it's mine. But I feel as if they're going to start with a more tender approach. Confident, yes, ready to claim what they desire. But they're coming forward first from an energy of care, sweetness, sensitivity, compassion, love, adoration, right? It's a page. This is who they really are. This is how they're coming into the reading. So I feel that that's good in a way because it feels as if things may need to be dialed back for many of us, and we kind of need to start with some basics. Let's just express our feelings. Right. Four of Cups. There's been a missed opportunity here. That Ace of Cups being offered, there's been some emotional detachment and a lack of an awareness of what's been on offer. But I feel now that this divine masculine is very clear about what they want. I don't think they're rejecting. I think they're very clear about what they do want, and they're potentially coming in with this little Page of Cups as a measure of saying, yeah, I'm clear about what I want now. I know I may have missed an opportunity in the past. Right, they want to come back. That's the energy, Knight of Wands, Sagittarian energy. This is a return, somebody returning from the past. I feel as if this masculine underneath, there may be some concern here about whether or not the divine feminine will receive their Page of Cups, receive the cup offered by the page, but it really kind of is coming through as a potential missed opportunity. So we're, whoop. That was going to be on the Eight of Swords. So patience, seeds have been planted here with the Eight of Swords. Not much you can do, but wait is how this feminine is seeing the situation with the masculine. Page of Swords, waiting for a sign, a signal, some energy, some message maybe of truth, some clarity to come in. They want that clarity to come in. That will help them get out of their head. The Eight of Swords is often that paralysis of analysis, where you're overthinking things to such a degree that you take no action. But I'm still going back to the Hanged Man, saying I don't think there's enough information here. So planting the seeds that some action will be taken, that you want to move out of the Eight of Swords, but you're waiting on the clarity. Looking for it, in fact. Page of Swords is often a detective. Perhaps for some of you, maybe keeping tabs, not in a creepy way, on the Divine Masculine through social media, trying to see where they're at, get a feel for the energy that's around them, what's going on in their lives. So it could be one part detective and one part patiently waiting for this message of clarity. On the bottom, yes, remaining single, taking care of oneself, the Nine of Pentacles, got a little Virgo energy stepping in here. The Nine of Pentacles is someone who really kind of, they know what they want, they know how they like to live, they're taking care of themselves, not waiting for somebody to drop it in their lap. So that's good energy. It's self-sufficiency. Independence, fiercely independent. The issue with the Nine of Pentacles is she has no trouble attracting to her almost anything she wants, with the exception of a stable love life. So put a pin in that. That could be why we have the delay. And for the Four of Swords, masculine doing some reflection, healing, taking time out to realign, reevaluate. It's been a very stressful time, I think. This is something that is on their mind probably 24/7. They're probably reflecting on everything 24/7. The Nine of Swords does represent a card of anxiety, an inability to kind of get your mind off the gerbil wheel. It's things running on a loop over and over and over and over again, like almost like your brain is in overdrive. So there is some healing here that's required to kind of calm that down. But the Four of Swords does pull you back and helps you settle your mind. Remember, four is about structure. Four sides of a square. So maybe reestablishing some sense of structure in their thought process. It's difficult though. Could be dealing with Pisces here. We've got the Hanged Man. So now there's definitely mirrored energy. We've got both of you here, feminine and masculine, delaying your gratification, pulled way back, trying to look at things from a different point of view or with fresh eyes or from the other person's perspective, not being clear on where the other stands right now. Feminine is overthinking things. Masculine is overthinking things different ways maybe, but similar outcome. Right? Nobody's taking any action. We're all stuck and we're all wondering what the other is thinking and feeling. On the bottom, there's a call here. The Ace of Wands, a divine inspired passion. There's a call to reignite the torch of passion here, but it's underneath. So it's sort of bubbling up under the surface. I feel that this masculine is still very highly attracted to the feminine. The feminine is sort of waiting for word, waiting for clarity, waiting for news. They're not going to go out and be with anybody else. This is a single person who's remaining free, single, and independent. So for those of you who have moved on to other connections, this may not be your reading. This, to me, really speaks to a feminine who's just going to stay solo. Which makes sense as you wait for more clarity to come in. Am I going to get the reciprocal energy that I need? I've got to choose a path. But the path needs to be, it just flipped right out. Death and Judgment, the two Scorpio cards. So the first card is, right, what needs to die off so something new can take its place. It is sort of that energy. This is the Phoenix rising out of the ashes. Beautiful energy. I'm so glad. Both cards ruled by Pluto, which I said was what's going on in the cosmos for the new moon. So there is an answering the call of the past life soulmate, of the twin flame. Second chances, forgiveness, another opportunity. Right? As a result of all this transformation, that's what's coming through. That's the situation. That's what's going to be possible. King of Swords. Wow. I'm gonna call this as a measure of integrity. There's integrity in the King of Swords. There's strategy. This is someone who's got a lot of high ideals and standards. They kind of live by a code. So they're not likely to screw it up on impulse. This is someone who's very intentional. and thoughtful. So I do like the King of Swords coming out. For some of you, that may be your divine counterpart, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But the other thing with the King of Swords that I am going to mention is there's sometimes an aloofness. There's sometimes like they're not real warm and fuzzy. They can kind of be almost over analytical. And I'm not going to ascribe this to either masculine or feminine side. I think it's coming out as part of the situation. I think the swords, the King of Swords here, high vibration, that's good, it's a king, but I feel it's speaking to the 8 and the 9 of swords. There's overthinking here, too much thinking, to the point where you're not dropping into your heart chakra. You're not kind of moving into the connection and re-examining it from a place of compassion. You're still in your head here. Good that it's a king, but it is difficult energy to work with if you're going to stay in your head and keep overthinking things. I'm just going to make that be known. What's crossing you? I feel this is the dynamic, the 3 of Wands. Let me get some clarity on the 3 of Wands. Card of manifestation, ships coming in. If the ships are coming in, what does that look like? There's a conflict. All right, so what's the conflict? I feel there may be an outside source, something interfering in this connection or in the manifestation of all this beautiful energy. Page of Cups. So that tells me right here that we've probably had some interference in the smooth flow of the connection. What you're trying to call in is this Page of Cups, is the energy of apology, a message of love or apology. Offers that are sweet and caring, but there's a block in between here, this conflict. Things are not unified. There's no sense of peace, harmony, or unity here. This is disharmony, disunity. It can often be coming from outside sources, so I do want to mention that. What's on the bottom? 5 of Pentacles. Now we have 2 5s. So I feel as if there's been an energy of feeling left out in the cold. Maybe some abandonment issues have cropped up in this past year in this connection. You're trying to draw this whole new opportunity, the answering the call of the connection, the death and judgment energy of second chances and forgiveness, and like pushing away, letting something die off. Some of the more difficult, challenging aspects of the connection have to die off. That's what you're trying to call in, and there's a block. There's a block because underneath there are still abandonment issues. There's maybe an inability to access the warmth of the connection, and between that sits the Page of Cups. So to some degree, I feel as if we're getting this call. We've got protection here. Yeah, no, that doesn't really speak to it as much. I feel that this masculine needs to take action from that King of Wands, knowing what they want and having the confidence to claim it. And to begin with the Page of Cups. There's something interfering. The 2 5s here are the difficult energies. I'm going to take it to the extended, guys, and what I'm going to look at for the rest of the reading is I'm going to pull cards for the divine masculine and feminine messages. What do you have to say to each other? This is a general sense, so it isn't astrologically significant. It's just energetically significant in a more collective sense. What are we trying to communicate to each other in the collective? A card to represent advice, coming guidance from our spiritual team. What all the angels, ancestors, ascended masters that are guiding us, what advice do they have for us? Also a card of the strengths of our connections. What's the strength that we have to build on? And then the outcome position, what can we expect going forward? If timing's a factor, it will come out there. But in the event it doesn't, it'll give us a good idea of what may be coming down the pike. I hope you enjoyed this. The link to the extended is below. Please enjoy the new moon reading. The new moon on Wednesday the 13th, late night on the 12th for the West Coast. Also, last message, don't forget to check out the morning musings. I added a new feature. I do a little morning spread that I've been doing for years and years. I just decided to throw a camera in my bedroom and I'm doing them for you. You can see my hands. So join me for the morning musings. I look forward to seeing you there. Take care.